Tonight, Victoria's darkest day. The state records more than 700 cases and 13 deaths in less than 24 hours, with masks set to become mandatory for the entire state as the aged care crisis worsens. Plus, the US passes 150,000 virus deaths as global cases pass 16 million. Also tonight, anti-racism rallies continue in Portland. The mayor tear-gassed with one man shot during a protest in Texas. Confusion surrounding reports about a potential COVID case in North Korea. First on 6 Channel 9's regional bulletin set to return, but we can reveal it will mean less local news. What caused a major fire in Thomastown close to houses. We'll show you exclusive photos taken at the scene. And despite all the bad news, there's new hope in the worldwide race for a COVID-19 vaccine as the world's biggest human trials begin in the US. 6 News starts now. Good evening. Victoria has recorded their darkest day in the coronavirus pandemic so far, with 723 cases and 13 deaths recorded in the space of 24 hours on Thursday. It's led to face masks becoming mandatory for the entire state. Previously, it was just Melbourne and the Mitchell Shire, but from 11:59pm Eastern Time tonight, it will be mandatory for everyone in Victoria. The main outbreaks are in the aged care sector. The crisis there has worsened tonight, with more deaths linked to nursing homes right across the state. The main clusters are at St Basil's Home for the Aged in Fawkner, Estia Health in Ardea, and Epping Gardens in Epping. Now, Premier Dan Andrews has admitted he wouldn't send his mum there as frustrated relatives and residents become fed up with the lack of information and the condition of those inside, not knowing what that condition is. Now, extra staff from the ADF have been rushed into Victoria to help the state deal with the outbreak. And in addition to all that, around a dozen schools have now been shut due to coronavirus cases and close contacts, including Melbourne Girls College in Richmond, as revealed exclusively by 6 News before the school publicly announced it. And right now, globally, there are more than 16 million cases, with the majority of those in the United States. They've now passed 150,000 coronavirus deaths. Our US correspondent Jackson Gosnell has the latest details.
Leo, with the latest coronavirus information, new cases continue to emerge around the nation, and top health infectious disease doctors say that really wearing a mask is key to slowing the spread of this virus. Many states do require masks across the whole state, while some say they are going to leave it up to local government, and the governors do not think it's necessary at this time. I'm here in South Carolina, where wearing a mask is not mandatory unless you go into a city that requires them, where the local government there has made it mandatory. In regards to the protests that are continuing here in the U.S., it is something to follow. And, you know, something to mention here is that these movements sparked a new wave of cases, according to some medical experts, but also they called for change, and it seems that the people have gotten the change they wanted. Now, I'll continue to follow the latest stories here from America, and I'll bring them to you on 6 News. I'm in the U.S. today. Jackson Gosnell, 6 News.
And as Jackson just mentioned, those Black Lives Matter protests continue right across the United States. Now, in Austin, Texas, one man was shot dead, with demonstrators telling KCAN News that a driver aggressively accelerated into the crowd and then started shooting with a rifle similar or an AK-47. We're not sure right now. This is some of what was seen on the night. Investigations are ongoing, and closer to home, 6 people were arrested after attending a Black Lives Matter protest in Sydney. Organiser Paddy Gibson was one of those taken away by New South Wales Police during chaotic scenes.
We would like an opportunity for it to be this family and the protest organisers who now work to. I would call on people to leave now. Leave now. Leave now. Don't come near me. Don't come near me. Leave the domain. Tell the people to cancel the rally. Leave the domain. Don't come near me. Don't come near me. Don't come near me and disperse the crowd. Disperse the crowd, comrade.
Boys.
Please, everyone leave safely. Justice for David Dungay. We will not stop until the guards are charged. Charge the guards who killed David Dungay now. Justice for all victims of death in custody.
Now, the rally went ahead despite a Supreme Court order banning the rally amid concerns about COVID-19 transmission. Now, from what we've seen in the footage, most protesters appeared to stay at home this time around, with a noticeably smaller turnout than last time. There's been confusion surrounding reports of North Korea's first coronavirus case. Straight to our Foreign Affairs reporter, Jack Khan. Jack, it's a developing situation, but what can you tell us about this?
Yeah, that's right. A developing situation in North Korea. Their first publicly reported case of coronavirus has been announced on the weekend. This happened in the remote city of Kaohsiung, which is close to South Korea. Now, what North Korea is alleging that a defector from South Korea came into North Korea bringing the virus, although those allegations are still not to be confirmed by the international community. It is widely speculated that coronavirus may have actually been in North Korea much earlier to this date, but nonetheless, Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, has sent the entire country into a state of an emergency. They have now said that they are going to make the best vaccine in the world and that they are ahead of the entire world. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated. In other news, there's been a tit-for-tat between the US and China. They have really entered this new age of diplomatic woes between them. America has kicked out the Chinese embassy in Houston, Texas. It was a consulate, and now China has retaliated, asking the US close one of their consulates in a city called Changdong that has around 16 million people there. So we are starting to see this kind of emerging battle between China and the US, and it's not clear where that might go. Back to you.
Alright then, and Jack, in some other news, a bit closer to home now, Channel 9, they've announced some really big changes coming to their regional news bulletins. Of course, you're in one of the markets that actually receives these bulletins, but can you give us some more details on what these changes actually are?
Yeah, that's right. Finally, some good news. Channel 9's regional bulletins will be returning from early August. Now, what does that mean for viewers? Well, in Queensland and Victoria, their regional bulletins will be returning, as well as New South Wales, where I am tonight. Now, keep in mind, these will actually be a new format. Regional bulletins were pushed aside during the beginning of the pandemic in March, but now they are coming back at 5:30 instead of 6 o'clock. It will be a half an hour of regional news mixed in with some other news programming. That's what we're hearing from 9. And then at 6 o'clock, we'll have the statewide Metro Bulletin. So in New South Wales, they'll have Peter Overton. And then in the other states, they'll have those state-based bulletins. Some really good news, in particular for New South Wales and the awesome team that produced that.
Alright, we'll leave it there. Jack Hahn broadcasting from home tonight, thank you. A major fire has broken out in Melbourne's north. Almost 100 firefighters attended the blaze at a factory in Thomastown, with an advice warning issued soon after for residents in that area due to the large amount of black smoke, as you can see in that extraordinary footage there. Here's some of what was seen only minutes after that fire began.
Cops, get the factory over there. Get the factory. Alright, keep going.
One person was hospitalised with upper body injuries. They are in a stable condition. Coon Cheese will dump their name after fears about its racist connections. It's the latest victim to the so-called cancel culture, but some argue the historic name should stay. Lincoln Holmes has the story.
Coon Cheese has been a symbol of Australian households for over 80 years, but now it's set for a major shake-up.
Now let's talk to some real cheese experts.
You mean Coon Cheese experts, Peter?
See what I mean?
The product every Australian family knows and loves is now ready for a major rename, after the name Coon was deemed racist by activists.
Coon Cheese. Australia's favourite tasty.
It's unclear what the famous brand of cheese will be renamed to. Lincoln Holmes, 6 News.
Checking some other stories making news tonight, and Queensland has officially labelled the Greater Sydney area and the New South Wales Central Coast a coronavirus hotspot, and it will now close their borders to anyone from that area. Now, Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk has also urged Queenslanders not to travel to Sydney or Victoria. It comes amid fears about a second wave in New South Wales after several outbreaks there. Also making news, the US Attorney General William Barr has been grilled by lawmakers when it comes to the actions of his department. Now, one major talking point was his administration's handling of the June 1 protest that happened in Washington, D.C. You'll recall that's where Channel 7 reporter Amelia Brace and her cameraman were brutally attacked by police, bashed while live on air reporting for Sunrise. Now, that was so authorities could clear a path for President Donald Trump for a photo op outside a nearby church. And back home now, the Northern Territory Police say they've spent around $2 million enforcing border and quarantine measures. Now, the Territory's Chief Minister Michael Gunner has said that an additional 131 police will be deployed to help monitor that border closure. The NT has been praised for their swift COVID-19 response, with only less than 40 cases since the pandemic began. There's new hope for a coronavirus vaccine tonight after the world's biggest human trials got underway in the US. But Russia has now vowed to begin production of their vaccine in September and October, with Moscow rushing to get a vaccine in before its Western rivals. Now, US President Donald Trump has had one of his retweets removed after it showed doctors claiming they had a cure for coronavirus. Now, in case you don't already realise, there is no cure for COVID-19. His son, Don Jr., also retweeted the videos, leading to his account being suspended temporarily. Now, it's since been revealed that one of those doctors featured in that video has made claims previously about Illuminati, abortion, gay marriage, and children's toys, saying, quote, DNA from space aliens is used in medicine. Now, in a news conference, Trump said they are respected doctors and that there was one woman in the video who was spectacular. He did not specify which woman he was talking about. I'm going to take a quick break now. Coming up next on 6 News, we'll recap our top story. Plus, was the Today Show right to give a platform to an anti-vaxxer? We'll show you the results of our Twitter poll in a moment. Also, a shattered family pays tribute to former Richmond player Shane Tuck. And the new way to support Guide Dogs Australia will tell you how you and your pooch can get involved in August. Stay with us.
Streaming across the globe, Ben Norris, Rob McKnight and David Robinson.
Ben, Robbo. News, reviews, entertainment news. It's the Ben, Robbo. Ben, Robbo Show. Ben, Robbo Show.
The Ben, Rob and Robbo Show, Monday to Thursday at 1 p.m, right here on Ticker TV.
Welcome back. Recapping our top story this Sunday, in Victoria's aged care crisis has worsened, with around 1 in 6 active cases in the state linked to nursing homes. Premier Daniel Andrews admitting he wouldn't send his mum there. Now, Chief Health Officer Brett Sutton has said he hopes Victoria has reached its peak after hundreds of coronavirus cases were recorded in the last fortnight. Let's check in with our Twitter poll now. We're asking, was the Today Show right to give a platform to an anti-vaxxer after a big confrontation on the show a couple of days ago? Now, we'll show you those results in a moment, but first let's take a look at the video that has gone viral.
Psychic, a working psychic since I was 9 years old. I started psychic readings and for the public from the age of 12 to 13.
I think the issue is you deliberately went into that place. You deliberately went into that place to antagonise workers who are literally just trying to do their bit for the country now, trying to protect other people from passing on this killer virus, which is what it is. You have and espouse all these weird, wacko beliefs, and unfortunately there are people out there who are going to believe you and who are going to side with you, and that's just irresponsible in the current climate. It's just irresponsible. You know what? I can't even listen to you anymore. I'm so sorry.
Can I just put it to you, Carl?
I can't even listen to you.
I can't put it to you. You can't listen to me.
Nah.
I have a medical exemption.
Nah, it's wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wow. And our Twitter poll shows that 25% of you say they were right, whilst 75% of you say she shouldn't get any airtime at all. Shantak's family has paid tribute to the late Richmond footballer during a funeral service. The 38-year-old was farewelled by his loved ones in an emotional ceremony. Tuck played 173 games for the Tigers in his career, spanning from 2004 until 2013. If anyone needs help, please contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Guide Dogs Australia is encouraging all dog owners to get involved with August. This August, you and your pooch will be challenged to run 30 minutes for 30 days, which is roughly 2 kilometres per day. Now, you can get your friends and family to help by having them donate based on how much and how much time you've walked. More details are on the Guide Dogs website. Let's check the weather map for tomorrow around the country. Brisbane 22, Sydney 18, Canberra 14, Melbourne heavy rain also 14, Adelaide 16, Perth 15, Darwin 30, Townsville 14, Wollongong 19, Ballarat 12, Bendigo cloudy and 24, and Hobart 9 degrees. That is 6 News for this Sunday evening. You can stay up to date on all our social pages at 6 News AU. I'm Leonardo Puglisi. Thanks for your company. Have a good night.